Hello and welcome everybody to Joint the League season number 3. We finally got this game underway, a 2-game series between Titan and Insidious Idol. Well, we actually both saw those two teams battle up against each other in a best of 2, a 2-game series plus a tiebreaker game as well 2 days ago. Was rather exciting, all 3 games of those. Titan did edge out the victory in the tiebreaker by the end, but there's no telling what will happen here. But we're HeflaTV, the English coverage for most anything almost, but I'm Coucher and I'm joined by Blackadder.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, we have been seeing these teams match up a lot lately. I mean, we've seen them go up in the MPGL. I think we've seen them go up in jDL. I think previously I've been casting pretty much exclusively Titan games the last 3 days, it feels. Since I think we've cast them maybe 6 times.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
Something like
Titan
that.
recently.
There has been a lot of Titan recently, and it's good because I do like casting these guys. And it does the kind of games that the Titan generally show us are very aggressive, and it does help me wake up that little bit, considering it's bizarro o'clock in the morning here in the UK. But from where we stand, Death Prophet banned, Razor gone, Lycan removed, and there'll be no Void. This does mean Doom first pick.
Yeah, so now the options for Titan, of course, Brewmaster is one of those, possibly a Viper. Skywrath Mage is the first pick, and actually Nature's Prophet, man. This Nature's Prophet is such a popular hero at the moment.
Yeah, and that's going to be a Ohio Nature's Prophet, and I'm wondering if we're going to see the Blade Mail build or not, but it'll be a variance on that, I would imagine, and we do get the Viper for Insidious Idol, which of course can battle up against that Nature's Prophet fairly well.
I mean, Viper can battle most anybody almost, just a really strong solo hero. Also can be pretty strong in a tri-lane if need be. So, in CSL they started with 2 cores, so they actually don't have too much wiggle room anymore for their last core at the moment. I guess if they want to go really greedy, Doombringer jungle is a thing as well, but don't really see that happening. Whereas
I
for
wouldn't
Titan,
be
it's...
surprised for Insidious Idol to actually put the Doom in the offlane. We've seen them do it in a previous series.
Yeah, it's most likely, at least. That's where almost everybody plays it.
I'm in complete agreement, and from where we stand going into the next ban phase, there'll be no Earthshaker, no Sand King, no Venomancer. We've got one more ban to come out of Titan, and it would not surprise me to see a ban out on the Tide Hunter.
Yeah, it's a really strong offlane hero. Plus just kind of pop Ravage, win teamfight, almost. Well, it's not as black and white and not as easy, but... Well... Actually, an Ember Spirit was banned. Oh, Titan, go for a Meepo!
Oh boy, they're going to certainly give me a game that's going to wake me the hell up, it seems. We get Meepo, so we're looking for aggression across the table, and from where we stand, I think that's going to be necessary. But now raises the question, how are Insidious Idols going to cope with this? I'm thinking we see a Tide safe lane Doom, sorry, a Tide offlane safe lane Doom and a mid Viper. At least, I believe that is the order of business that Insidious Idols will probably go for, because that'll give them lockdown on the Meepo, ability to tank up and deal with him. Then you'll have Viper just raining death and disease down with those dots.
Well, Insidious Idol, they go for Jakiro at the moment. I guess decent enough hero against Meepo. Liquid Fire usually catches all the Meepos because they're just so close together. Dual Breath to slow down their attack speed, potentially Ice Path to catch them all as well, just stop their momentum, but... Man, it's going to be a crazy game. I don't believe I've ever seen Titan play a Meepo.
If I'm right, this Meepo should be ran by KYXY. I believe I would need to check that Dota, but I'm pretty sure he is the only one that has handled a Meepo before. And we do get the Rubik now for Titan as well, so we're going to be looking for the ability to teamfight in with that Meepo. They're going to give the Meepo as much of an advantage in the early game as they can. Offlane Nature's Prophet, support Rubik Skywrath Mage, and now they're just looking for either a mid or a safe lane farmer, depending on where they want to put the Meepo.
Yeah, I mean, Meepo up against Viper mid lane, I wouldn't really favor Meepo in that matchup. I've seen Meepos do rather well against Death Prophets, actually even having a slight upper hand in farm, but up against the Viper, that hero I think would just be a pain in the ass for Meepo to deal with, so I'm kind of hoping for Titan to pick up another mid laner. As for Insidious Idols now, they do need themselves another core, potentially another support here as well, unless they want to go for a jungler of sorts, something like an Enigma. But what do you actually think Insidious Idols should go for? I mean, should they focus something that can, for example, just have single target burst to just kill off one Meepo and hope for the best?
I'm going to say single target burst with a multiple hero hitting stun. There's only one hero that Insidious Idols run, and that's to that extent, and that's the Tusk.
Well, it Tusk wouldn't be the worst kind of hero, I guess. In Idol, they were the ones running it. Juggernaut support, Tusk support, so I guess if any team is gonna go for it, Insidious Idol might.
Well, Insidious Idol have proven that they like the Tusk quite heavily, actually. We've seen them favor it in 3 games in a row. But still, Tusk could work here, and it would give them a multiple hero stun with that snowball, give them also the initiation edge to get into the middle of the mix. But still, there are other options, and we go for the Tide. So I was at least right on that prediction. Down they get a multiple hero stun, a good one as well, and they throw in on top of that anchor smash. It's going to be scary. It is going to be very scary.
Yeah, I mean, Anchor Smash is actually pretty damn good against Meepo as well, because Meepo is pretty much all base damage. He doesn't build like Daedalus, whatever damaging items. He's just all about the base damage, so 60% reduction from Tide Hunter. It's gonna be pretty damn sick, to be honest. And does this mean that it's a safe lane Doom now?
I'm actually feeling yes, it's a safe lane Doom. I mean, you give Doom safe lane farm, he will start to snowball out of control very quickly, considering he'll just get an early Midas if he can. He's got Devour. He'll put that into getting his armor problem fixed, either a Shiva's Guard or an AC. Personally, I prefer Shiva's. Then you go for either a BKB, if you need the magic immunity and against Titan's lineup, I would say yes. And then either a Heart, if you want to just bring the ability to tank up and deal some physical damage, eating a Diable Falfa, of course, or more Eternal Envy style, Refresher Orb. Double Doom.
Well, I mean, Double Doom is never a bad thing to have, to be honest. It really depends what his itemization is before. If you're going for a certain build, you actually might not have enough or not have properly enough mana for a full combination, just Doom, Refresher Doom. But looking at the last bans, Bristleback actually taken out by Titan. I guess Insidious Idol could have gone for it with a support Tide Hunter, but don't really. I'm not the biggest fan of his support Tide all in all, but Insidious Idol themselves banning out the Kunkka of all heroes.
I can understand banning out the Kunkka, considering you're running the Meepo and you've got Skywrath Mage who's fairly fragile. Getting hit by a Tidebringer or a Boat Torrent combo will ruin the Meepo. Same for the Skywrath Mage and the Nature's Prophet. It's a very good hero to ban here.
Well, at the moment, Titan, they are at their 5th pick. They have a solid 1 minute left in the reserve time. Like you already mentioned previously, either go for a mid laner or a safe lane farm, depending on how they want to run the Meepo at the moment. And I actually have no idea what they are even gonna go for. It's not like their lineup has a clear-cut goal in mind at the moment. It's just some push, some pretty nice amount of burst damage, of course, just coming out from the Meepo himself, Mystic Flare from Skywrath Mage. Rubik, all in all, just standard support, does a little bit of everything.
So, for Titan, there's only one hero that really does come to mind to an extent that works incredibly well with the Meepo, with the Rubik, and well, not so much the Skywrath Mage. It can be a bit of a pain with the Skywrath, but Magnus wouldn't go amiss, just because then you can hit the RP and then you can mass poof everyone. The same would work. Ooh, hello.
Well, that's a treat at the moment for us. A Night Stalker, a hero I actually haven't seen for a really long time. I had a glimpse of a Night Stalker in another tournament. I mean, I wasn't casting it myself, but I saw that the hero was used, but that's about it. So I'm happy to actually be able to cast a game of Night Stalker.
I cast a game with Night Stalker a week ago. It was myself and Grandis. It was aggressive. It was also a game where we had an Aghanim Skywrath Mage who just dropped multiple Mystic Flares and had an Ion Cannon effectively. It was fun. I like Night Stalker. He's aggressive. He gets in the enemy's face. We're looking for aggression from Titan here. The aggressive play from a Nature's Prophet, the ability to charge in with that Night Stalker, and of course it's an 8-second silence at night. Then also Meepo. He's going to be getting a lot of experience in the early game, but he will be coming in like a hammer and crushing Insidious Idol if he gets the chance to. But last pick will be the Dazzle. So it's a Dazzle Jakiro support combo and a core Tide Viper Doom coming out of Insidious.
And actually, it actually might be a farming Shakira. I'm not too sure what the stand-in actually plays, but Shagasaurus usually has been the support at least. Although, I guess with a stand-in, the roles might switch around a little bit as well. I mean, Shagasaurus has been the kind of farming support anyway on Juggernauts and Tusks and what have you, but we'll see. Maybe they are throwing something crazy at us, like Doom jungle actually, Tidehunter off lane, Jakiro farming safe lane with Dazzle supporting her or something, but Night Stalker most likely will be mid lane, I would guess, from Titan up against Viper. Or actually,
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Night Stalker does at least okay against a Viper.
I actually don't even know who would be better. I think Meepo actually might even get slightly more farm just with the ability to poof, as well as stack up the jungle with one of the Meepos once he hits level 3 and flash farm that later on. Since Night Stalker, man, you need to get a decent enough start early on just to make sure that the second night time you can just go crazy.
You could even go crazy in the first night, depending on how well you get your lane. I mean, first night kicks in at 4 minutes. Generally, if you have level 5, you can hunt on that first night. 3 points Void, 2 points Hunter in the night, or 3 points Void, 1 Crippling Fear, and 1 Hunter in the night if you have a target that requires silencing. And you've got to consider there is a Dazzle on the field. Yes, you want to silence the Dazzle and deal with him. But now, from where we stand, as I start to get in the swing of things and I start to become conscious, let's introduce the players, shall we?
Yes, for Insidious idols, on the Radiant side, Shagasaurus will be playing up on the Doombringer, started with boots and actually a ward, even a sentry for himself. Ysera up on the Viper, leaving Seared to support on the Dazzle, with the last two being... Wait, who the hell did I miss? Yeah, it's gonna be Insidious C on the Jakiro and Bethel on the Tidehunter.
On the flip side of this coin, for Titan, we've got Ohio on the Nature's Prophet. Over in the mid lane, we've got Mushi handling that Night Stalker, and we're going to be keeping a good eye on him. And then in the tri lane, which is going to be ran by KYXY and the Meepo, you have Extinct on the Rubik, and finally you have my former self standing in for them instead of WTF, and he'll be on the Skywrath Mage. So we're going to be looking for aggressive rotations from the Rubik and the Skywrath, and we're going to be looking just for kills on Night Stalker. But my slight question here is regarding Insidious Idol. For the last 4 or 5 games we've cast of Insidious Idol, Bethel has been handling carries. Now he's handling the Tide.
I mean, a farming Tide can actually be a pretty damn sick thing. Especially like we mentioned in the draft as well, just having the Anchor Smash up against Meepo, and when a Tidehunter actually does have levels as well as farm, he is a tanky monster that is just so hard to bring down. So I actually don't mind a farming Titan. It's something that I've missed kind of. Shagasaurus might already be in tower. Extinct is gonna come in. He has telekinesis, he's gonna use it as well. Throw Shagasaurus back a little bit. He's actually switching direction, but he didn't even get one Devour off. Now the Earth Point to hold him in place, and KYXY Meepo gets the first blood.
The last thing you ever want to have happen to you, the enemy Meepo getting first blood. He's going to now pick up his boots, and he's going to start to become a nasty force of nature if this kind of thing continues. But this is still a slightly odd one for me, because you would think off-lane Tidehunter, safe lane Doom. The Doom would then get some more farm. He can then pick up, say, an earlier dagger or the armor hole repair if necessary, and just control the lane like that. But seeing the Doom go into the off-lane when the Tide is present, I mean, we've just seen Doom die, hands down. Whereas a Tide would have Kraken Shell and might be able to escape that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Doom actually misplayed it a little bit as well. Of course, he starts with 0 armor, which definitely doesn't help, but he actually wanted to go into the B camp just to devour a creep there. Would have gotten a wild wing as well. Would have been pretty nice for the extra armor, the toughness aura, but oh man, it's just unfortunate. He got a little bit overeager there, but now he's in his own jungle just to make sure he doesn't feed the Meepo anymore.
I can completely understand that. I mean, it's the right call to rotate in. You don't want to be giving that Meepo any extra in terms of experience by dying, but it's still going to be a big problem because this Meepo of KYXY, he's already got level 2. He's nearly level 3 at less than 2 minutes in. And he's just going to start snowballing out control. You've already got the supports. They're going to be stacking up this jungle as much as humanly possible. I mean, we already have a hard camp stack here for the Meepo up on this top lane. It's going to be a big problem, a very big problem for Insidious Idols if they cannot keep this Meepo in check.
Yeah, that's the name of the game whenever you are up against Meepo. You just have to make sure he doesn't get off to a good start. Try to shut him down. Of course, if the Meepo is actually running a tri lane, it gets infinitely harder to do unless you run an aggressive tri lane yourself. But I just hope that for Insidious Idol, Tidehunter is going to get his fast level 6, farm up possibly a fast blink dagger as well, and just start going aggressive, start getting kills, because I mean, I don't think they'll be fine with just the farming game up against a Meepo who can farm definitely faster than anybody in Insidious Idol. Maybe Hands of Midas Devour Doom can try to keep up, but I mean, Nature's Prophet and Meepo, they're just gonna split push. They're gonna farm up the entire map, and Insidious Idols, they're not gonna be happy with just going into a farm game.
Going into a farm game would be a very bad idea, I think. Just considering in a farm game, you've got to consider Meepo. Sure, he's going to be getting a good amount. So will the Night Stalker, although he's going to be more kill centric. The flip side of that coin, a farmed Doom and a farmed Viper can bring down that Meepo if they can get the initiation onto the Meepo, but it does depend heavily on that initiation. If Titan initiate onto Insidious Idols are on the back foot quite heavily. If II initiate, they'll doom up the Night Stalker and then they'll take down the Meepo as soon as possible. It's all a case of positioning, though. It is all down to the initiation.
Well, I mean, Insidious they do have a, I guess, solid amount with Titan Rider going in first or Doombringer possibly. So they have two heroes to go in. Titan, before actually they get the Blink Daggers on Meepo, possibly Extinct on that Rubik as well. Or actually, yeah, Extinct is on the Rubik. Whew. But before that, they actually don't have the best initiation. I mean, Night Stalker, yes, he can run at people, but it's not like they have the Blink jump before the Meepo or Rubik gets it.
Sure, I will grant you that you don't have the blink jump, but what Night Stalker does have in his advantage is the ability to reduce the enemy's sight by 25% with that darkness online. And you've got to also remember, Night Stalker during the nighttime has 1800 unobstructed vision, especially if he has the Aghanims, he'll then get flying level of vision equal to that. It's quite the advantage for a Night Stalker, and I honestly would not be surprised to see Mushi pick up an Aghanims. If they have the vision advantage, they will always have the edge in initiating.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, Night Stalker, especially with Dragon names, it's a legal map hack. That's the best way to put it, to be honest, because that's what it is. It's just the aura around him when he gets vision, when he's just roaming the map. It is so sick. Give a gem to him as well, and there will be no vision at all for any Insidious Idol.
Indeed, and that honestly would not surprise me to happen in this game. The only way you can really initiate onto a Night Stalker who's got an Aghanims and a gem is via smoke. It will give you the ability to get 800 units closer before the smoke breaks, and the Night Stalker can see you. It is the only way to do so.
By the way, for Titan, I mean, for Insidious Idol, who do they actually doom? Who is their priority target to take out of the fight?
It depends. You either doom the Skywrath Mage if he becomes a threat, or he is in a position where he can get your supports, or you doom the Night Stalker because he does bring a 8-second silence during the nighttime, which could ruin any member of Insidious Idols, or he can just barrel down and kill your team outright between Void and Hunter in the Night. And Hunter in the Night, if that gets muted by Doom, Night Stalker loses his nighttime advantage quite heavily.
Yeah, I mean, Night Stalker, he's all about the night, just the extra movement speed, attack speed as well. So if you can take that out of the equation, it's suddenly
It's
not
more
a
the
scary
vision
beast.
range. The vision range is part of the reason why he is so powerful at night. He is one of 5, maybe 6 heroes who has a higher than 800 vision range at night. He's got 1800. Although he does have slightly less during the day than everyone else, but you get my point.
Yeah, I mean, Night Stalker he deserves his name.
I suppose.
Well, I mean, actually I played the game of Keeper of the Light recently, and I thought like, there's one hero in the game to extend nighttime. I just wish there would be one to extend daytime as well.
No, just no.
Oh man.
The reason I say no to that is during daytime you have much higher vision and it's very much easier to gank during the daytime. Well, during the nighttime. It's easier to gank during the night because of that reduced vision on most heroes. Having a few heroes to being the exception to that rule is brilliant. If you had things to extend the daylight, it would then discourage ganking. And if we look at patch notes for the last 5 patches, it's been improving the want to gank and the want to fight instead of just farm. It would be going against what the patches have been doing to the game, if that makes sense.
Well, I guess it does make sense indeed. So we finally unpaused the game. I do believe Extinct was crashed, I think. So he restarted his PC. He's back now. Looking at the mid lane, he's 10-1 compared to Mushi's 8-1. But actually, Mushi, he got off to a really good start, getting 6 last hits out of the bat. But as Viper gets higher levels, probably gonna start having a better and better time against Night Stalker. But Night Stalker, I mean, he has 6 base armor. He should be fine.
He should be fine. It's one of the things about the Night Stalker. He has such a high base armor. There's only one hero with higher base armor than that, and it's Ogre Magi. I want to say it's 7.
Yeah, they should be rather equal, or close enough to at least. As Insidious, he is harassing Ohio quite a lot, even went for that early point into dual breath, although dropping a little bit low on mana, but he has 2 clarity, so Chihiro is gonna be fine. Nice Stalker, bottles up an Illusion Rune. Not the most impactful one, just filling his bottle, it's always fine.
Well, getting the Illusion Rune will help him control the lane to an extent. I mean, it'll help out in denying, help out in lasting, giving him vision, but it's more important right now for him just to stay on lane and get experience, because then he can get that second lane Hunter of the Night, which he does have now. We're looking for another point in Void, and he's not going to go for Silence for the first night, and we might see some ganking stuff in about 1 minute's time when that first night does kick in.
Oh, Ohio actually TPs into the enemy jungle at the moment. I don't know why, maybe they were hoping for some kills. Nice Stalker Illusion actually, one of them was even stacking up the big camp in their own jungle, so nice micro of the illusions, making the most of it. Usually Illusion Rune might be considered the least useful, at least early on, but he makes good use of it.
Meantime, we do see Insidious trading blows with Ohio once more, even on the farming, and Ohio, he has to play slightly more defensive and reserved here, because if Z-Red comes in with a Poison Touch, although he doesn't actually have it, it could spell doom here for Ohio, but he's getting very aggressive. I think he realizes they don't have Poison Touch, and now he's trading blows with Insidious. Can he block him out? Not enough. The heal does come through from that Dazzle, buying some more time for Insidious, and Ohio's just going to be a pain. He's going to poke and prod where he can. But this is time where the Insidious supports are not getting any farm either, just because they're trying to harass Ohio.
Yeah, it's actually Ohio has been playing pretty damn good at the moment. And what do you actually think of Z-Red not going for the Poison Touch? I mean, it's all well and good to try to keep people alive, but it's not like they're fighting this early.
I honestly expected maybe a little bit of aggression before the 4-minute mark, just because that first night. And the reason I say this is considering they're running a Tide, Jakiro, and Dazzle tri-lane. That tri-lane can kill quite easily. I mean, they have the slow of the Poison Touch, they've got the damage of an Anchor Smash, Gush if they want to catch up to a target, and then on top of all of that, they have Jakiro, Ice Path, Liquid Fire. Although I believe we're not seeing the Ice Path build, are we? No, we're seeing the Dual Breath build instead.
So yeah, they're going for something different at the moment. As Arcane Boots are finished on Bethel's Tide Hunter. I mean, Poison Touch and Gush, they actually stack each other out a little bit. Minus armor to boost damage. The Shaga Sword, oh, he drops down to half HP. Mushi, he's coming in with the Haste Rune, setting up an easy kill in the first night time. KYXY to grab it, and just the burst damage of even 2 poofs. He dropped down to half HP just in an instant.
Yep, it's the threat of it, and Mushi, very low on health, but there is no real threat to kill him at this point. And this is what we're going to be expecting. First night, aggression. It is pretty much a standard style of Titans play. They like to get aggressive. I mean, I normally see more aggressive games from them than split push heavy games, with the one exception of the long one we cast the other day, but this is still going to be a very early presence here for Titan, and now we're going to see the Extinct come in. They're going to go on to Bethel, but it's only a telekinesis. They don't have the threat of the Night Stalker down here yet, and even if they did, he's too low on health to do anything valuable.
Look at Bethel's build. I mean, 3 points into Kraken Shell. It's really uncommon to say the least. Usually just max out Anchor Smash. Anchor Smash, such a great tool, whether for farming, harassing, what have you, but they are going really defensive with both the Dazzle and the Tide Hunter.
I suppose 3 points Kraken Shell will mute a lot of the damage potential of the Night Stalker should he try to gank the Tide, but this still maybe is too defensive for my liking. I mean, the third point, I suppose, means the Treants do absolutely zero if they're put on him, but he had support backing him up this entire time. He didn't need that many points. It's an odd choice in my mind, and he probably has a reason for it. I just can't think of what it is other than the potential threat of Mushi on that Night Stalker.
Yeah, I guess against Meepo or multiple Meepos, right-clicking Kraken Shell isn't all that bad, and Anchor Smash, it's not like the damage reduction actually increases by levels, it's 60% from the first level, so in a sense, since he didn't really want to push out the lane anyway, just to make sure that Ohio doesn't get too much XP, it's not like he was gonna use Anchor Smash to farm up anyway on the lane, so in a sense I can understand it, but I think it just delays his fighting potential a little bit early on.
I'd completely agree. Now we've got Night Stalker starting to scout with illusions, but in comes the rotation from the back. Mushi used that illusion just to cause some harassment and some trickery, and Ysera will be the focus here, but in comes Zero. He's going to try to get the Shallow Grave up, but is it needed? I don't think it is. Just Ysera will go toe-to-toe with the Night Stalker, and the Night Stalker will go down. Equally, he's going to catch the Skywrath Mage. That's a double kill for him. Make that a potential triple kill. They lose the Rubik, and it is a triple. We're getting some odd lag. Are you getting that as well, Couch?
Oh no, not this time around. It happens every now and then for me as well in Southeast Asian servers, but man, this fight, this turnaround, the Dazzle, Shallow Grave a little bit, or could have been timed a little bit better. So Ysera almost died, but the heals were enough with the Magic Stick to help out. And how bad can it be for you? You're losing 3 heroes when you're the one skanking Ysera, of course. He went for the 4 points into Corrosive Skin, so he was expecting some aggression early on. They get another tower on top of this as well. Mushi, he's going to stop the Shagasaurus TP, so that's all well and good, but it looks like they just want to keep on going.
They're going to keep the pressure going, and as we stand, they can start balling down lanes. They still have Ravage, they still have a lot of their abilities ready to go, and we get another pause. I think we might be having some lag across the board, potentially.
Yeah, it might be. Extinct actually is the one to disconnect again, so he might be having some serious PC issues. Hopefully he can fix them. Maybe they have a spare PC, what have you. I have no idea where they're actually playing. They should have a gaming house if I'm not mistaken. But Ysera, he already has his mech finished. 8 minutes in. He's level 8.5 compared to Mushi's 6. So this Night Stalker, first night, yes, he got that 1 kill with the haste run onto the top lane onto Shagasaurus, but now it's daytime. He doesn't have his ultimate. And that's 4 minutes for Insidious Idols, more or less, that they can just have their own way across the map. I mean, they have Ravage. They have Viper with the mech, as already mentioned. Viper Strike to cool off in 20 seconds time. Liquid Fire, level 2, soon to be level 3. I mean, I think this tier 2 actually might fall here.
I'm inclined to agree. They have very little that they can do to stop the Ravage combination. Sure, you've got Meepo. He's starting to come online, but what does he have available to him? He doesn't have a finished Aghanims yet. He's only got 1 extra Meepo. He's not going to do that much in terms of added damage with Pufu. You do have Mushi lurking in the backline, Sava, who could come in with a flank, but they just don't have the potential to defend yet, and we get another pause, and Extinct goes again. PC's having issues, unfortunately, but...
Well, now that Mushi actually, he's running towards a haste rune at the moment. He doesn't know it yet himself, but he's going for some rune, and he's going to find a haste rune, so... Yes, it's daytime, but at least it's going to still be speedy.
It's going to be speedy, but still... What can Mushi actually do with that haste rune? He could look to pick off stragglers when they fall back from this tower. At this point, I'm thinking they may decide to keep going, because if we look at Insidious Idols, all 5 members are looking fairly healthy in terms of total health pools, but equally all of them are well above 50% mana, with the exception of Z-Red, who's just suffering a little bit behind. But he's the Dazzle. All his spells are so cheap anyway, and he isn't really going to be casting much other than the heal every now and then. Maybe Shallow Grave if it's necessary, but Bethel still has Ravage. They still have the ability to high ground him. Not only that, they have Doom as well.
Yeah, and just now actually from the last creeps that I here in CSC, got level 5 on the Chakir as well, so level 3 Liquid Fire. Yes, he can't keep it up constantly quite yet, but 10-second cooldown is low enough for them. And man, this tower is just dropping so damn fast as it is. Really Titan at the moment, with that fail ganked. That just kind of turned the momentum completely in the favor of Insidious Idol. But KYXY is still farming up rather well. He's only 1.6k away from the Aghanims. But if Insidious Idol can just keep on this level of aggression and just force down towers, this Aghanim Scepter Meepo might not be enough, because he also needs to blink after it.
I'd be completely in agreement. I mean, there's only so much you can do with just an Aghanims on Meepo. Sure, the extra Meepo is an extra unit. It gives you more in terms of ability to do poof damage, but it's still not enough. They need the blink, they need KOXWay to get more farm, and he's just not getting enough quickly.
By the way, it looks like Tidehunter actually Bethel is going for a pipe. So, not going for the initiation at all. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna come sit at your tower, and when you come, we pop the Ravage, we'll be fine. Of course, they have to account still for Night Stalker's ability to silence in the nighttime, since they can just silence the Tidehunter and not damage him at all after that. Go for the rest of the kills, and then go for the Tidehunter when he's just the only one alive. Or of course, going for a Dazzle might also be a nice choice for Mushi.
They need to kill the Dazzle. They need to silence and kill the Dazzle just because of the Shallow Grave. Otherwise, Bethel will get the Shallow Grave if they go for him. Then he'll pop his Ravage, or he'll protect the Doom. The Doom, sure, he's relatively squishy with 0 armor, but Shallowgrave just causes problems. You have to kill the Dazzle. This is like yesterday with Titan and their healing strat. What happened, Couch, whenever they locked down or killed the Dazzle first?
They won the fight.
Exactly. That's how you deal with a Dazzle. You either silence it, lock it down, or ignore it with, let's say, a Chronosphere on it, or you just kill it outright. Dazzle, when he's dead, can't do fuck all.
That is 100% certain, man. You can't do anything when you're dead, so... At the moment,
King.
Mushi, he doesn't even have a single point into silence. When he gets level 7, I'm kind of expecting for him to skill out Void anyway. Of course, he should be at least level 8 to have 1 point into silence. Maybe even level 9 to have silence as well as the ultimate for himself when the next nighttime comes. But by that time, I mean, just those 4 minutes, how much can Insidious Idol accomplish within the daytime?
They've got 4 minutes of time to play with here. Do they have Darkness on the Night Stalker yet? I don't think Mushi's skilled it. No, he hasn't. So this is 4 minutes where the Night Stalker doesn't have the high movement speed of Hunter in the Night. It's 4 minutes where he's got reduced vision. He actually has slightly less daytime vision than every other hero. I believe he's at 1,200 instead of 1,800. They might go straight for the tier 3. They have that death pool potential. As long as they're all looking healthy and they have the Dazzle behind them, they can.
Oh man, maybe with this haste rune, just maybe Mushi can try to set something up, but running into the fight without the silence, it's gonna be extremely hard to actually kill anybody with the mech helping them out. Shallow Grave plus Shadow Wave, and of course the threat of a Ravage is always gonna be there. So what do you think Titan actually should do? I mean, I think there's no way they can defend this tower here, but...
Well, what they're trying to do, if you take a look at the minimap, you've got KYXY pushing this top line. Equally, you can see the Nature's Prophet sprout coming up, where he's teleporting in. They're just going to split push. They're going to try to take a tower for a tower.
Well, they might be able to. Just maybe, though. Ohio TPing in as well. At least the trees are sprouting out of the ground already. So, go has been given by both teams, and hells yes! We finally start again.
Yep, let's get the show on the road. The Meepo's going to keep pushing this down. You get the Nature's Prophet TP in as expected. Mushi finds the haste rune, and now comes the push potential out of Insidious. They're going to help themselves to that tier 2, and now we're seeing the mass TP back. Viper is up on this spot, on this top lane now, and you equally do get the rotation coming around by the Doom and potentially by Insidious on that Razor. Oh, sorry, Jakiro. And he said, where did I get Razor from? Oh, his name, that's where. I'm surprised we're not seeing any aggression or fights here. But Z-Red and Ysera will force back the push on this top lane, and I'm reckoning we could just see it as shunt up for the tier 1, because that tier 1 on the top lane is still standing. Sure, it's near full of health, but we've seen the pushing potential of this death ball of Insidious Idols, and it seems that is the order of business here. Bethel going to be leading the charge. As you mentioned, going for that pipe. I like the idea of a pipe. You don't need a Blink Dagger to initiate with a Tide. The radius on it is over 1,000 at all levels now. Before on Tide, the range increased as you leveled it up. You honestly don't need a blink 100% of the time anymore.
Yeah, you don't, especially if you're actually going for the fight, so you're making Titan come to you, so you don't need to initiate yourself. But Titan, they're going for a Roche at the moment. It's not the fastest one, but with a couple of Meepos, with the Treants helping to tank things up, they are going to get it eventually. By that time, they're going to lose at least a tier 1, and I really don't think Insidious Idol should stop here.
They're going for Roshan, and I have to say, but at what cost? They lose their tier 1 on that top lane. Equally, you got Mushi, he needs to TP away because he doesn't really want to mess with the Tide, and the push is coming for this tier 2 on the top lane. They could lose 2 towers in exchange for a Roche, and Roche still isn't even near dead yet. This is taking a significantly long time, and is getting an Aegis on the Meepo really that worth it at this point? I don't think it is.
Well, for the tier 1, I think it's not all that bad, considering that, at least for the time being, Insidious Idol haven't forced the tier 2 yet, although Final Battle rotating back in, so they might still be going for it. Aegis picked up on KYXY. Insidious Idol, I don't think they really care about the Aegis, though.
No, I'm inclined to agree. We're 10 minutes in. Look at how many towers have fallen on the side of Titan here. They've lost 4 of them. How many have Insidious Idols lost? 1. Distinct advantage there, and it equally shows in the graphs. That's a 4k gold lead for Insidious Idols and nearly 1.5k experience lead for Titan. But it's the gold that matters in this case, and another tower falls. That's 5 towers down. Do we see the continued push, or are they going to defend the tier 1? I honestly think they may commit to pushing the tier 3, but no, we get mass TPs towards the bottom lane. They're going to repel the bottom tier 1 instead of the mid. And I can understand that considering KYXY and Mushi were already set up on the tower, but they're going to repel this. Are they going to go on Ohio? He is still lurking nearby. He's going to TP out, but I can't see them wanting to fight. KYXY is still in the jungle as well. He needs to be careful with those Meepos. He could get caught out of position, but it seems it's a case of Titan. They defend the bottom tier 1, and they're just going to push this bottom lane out, which does mean this tier 2 is going to be the next target for Insidious Idols. But we do get a TP in from Chagosaurus in that mid lane. He's alone, though. This is a very bad place for him to be, and he's potentially going to go down. In comes a Mystic Flare, and that's going to be all she wrote.
That was a really bad TP in, and now Titan actually, I think Titan are playing this as best as they possibly can, just always split pushing, always 2 lanes at the same time. And now they're going for a tier 2 for themselves actually. Don't think they're gonna get it down faster than Insidious Idols are gonna get their own, but at least they are still forcing something, so whoever backs out first might be the loser here. I think Insidious Idols, they should just go for Rex because their push in theory should be faster.
Yep, but now we get the TPs in. The mass TPs after that tier 2 falls in favor of Insidious. They're going to go for Mushi. They're going to catch him with a gush. In comes the Doom on him. That's a really good target for the Doom on that Night Stalker, and one more right click might be enough. Dazzle continue to hail in blows, and there's no way Mushi's escaping this one, unfortunately for him. But top lane, the tier 2 does go down. Mid lane, the tier 2 took some significant damage. In fact, it went down as well. So that's 2 tier 2s versus a tier 2 and a Night Stalker. Advantage Titan. And this is how you deal with a 5-man pushy lineup of Insidious Idols. You split push 2 lanes.
It must be so annoying for Insidious Idols at the moment. They're like, guys, we want to force fights. We have the Ravage. We actually haven't had the chance to use it once yet. But Titan, they are doing it absolutely 100% perfect. And that's what they just need to keep on doing. Ohio, he's going for the backdoor at the moment as well. On the tier 1 tower on this bottom lane here. So this game in CSIs, they must be kind of infuriated. But Bethel, he has his pipe finish, not on his person yet. But they are going for high ground. They've had enough. But Shakiro, he's not there. So no liquid fire. Which means the push is actually extremely slower.
Yes, it is much slower, and it's also much more damaging in terms of to the heroes of Insidious Idols, since they can't slow down that tower damage. But still, Bethel can tank this up fairly well. Does have that fight, of course. Viper Strike got stolen by the Rubik, and could give them the advantage in this next fight. But my question still stands. They can't really push this high ground, I don't think. Not this comfortably, but equally, look at Titan split push. In the meantime, you got Ohio and KYXY split pushing that top tier 3. Sorry, yeah, top tier 3. Now comes the Ice Path onto Mushi, doing a lot of damage. They're going to bring down the Night Stalker with great ease, actually, but they're going to need to TP to defend. Jakiro's going, equally so is Bethel. They're going to drop the Ravage. They find KYXY. If they can finish him off, that'll be huge, but they need to stop these poofs, and he's gone. Ice Path is too slow.
Well, they are just getting toyed around with, and KYXY, it's not like he poofed home or anything. He poofed to a tier 2 tower bottom lane, so they are gonna be even on towers now. Ohio, he gets the TP out as well, nothing to stop it in time. No level def, actually not a single point into it from Chagosaurus. So, Titan, they are playing the rat game 100% perfect at the moment. And they are doing what is necessary, and looking at the graphs now, it used to be a 4,000 gold lead for Insidious Idol, but now that the towers are equal out, so is the gold. 100% equal pretty much. Blink Dagger finished on KYXY. XP 2,500 in Titan's favor even. And with the blink on Meepo, with the nighttime hitting, this is actually kind of scary now for Insidious Idol all of a sudden.
I have a feeling that Insidious Idol have lost their window of opportunity. It's a case of whenever they would push a tower, they get the little saying of they knock off one head but 2 more rise, and those 2 heads that rise in favor of Titan are pushes on other lanes. And you've got to consider off the back of that, whenever they pushed a tier 2, they lost 2 tier 2s in exchange. They should have gone for a high ground earlier before Meepo had this kind of opportunity in my mind. They had the ability to high ground earlier, but they didn't. I think the window might be closed, and right now, advantage Titan. The experience advantage in their favor. They've now got the blink on the Meepo. The Meepo has his Aghanims. That's 4 Meepos now on the map. This is a big problem here for Insidious Idol.
Yeah, it definitely is. And KYXY, it looks like he wants to go for something. Of course, 4 heroes are grouped up for Insidious Idol, so might not have been the best jump, but in the meantime, they are pinging out these arrows. Well, they want to go for it, and man, I think they're gonna get the kill.
They're not going to be able to save the Viper by any stretch of the imagination. Insidious Idols lose that key hero, and now we have this death ball starting to push down this top tier 3. And I think this is a very big problem here for Insidious. They need to find a way to defend this, and they do have that smoke popped. But is this going to be enough? Do they have Ravage? Not at this minute. It's going to be up in 20 seconds. And I think they need Ravage if they really want to fight. Otherwise, they're just going to get absolutely annihilated by Mushi and the Meepo.
Well, they do have Doom at least, so that's one cool thing. You can just shut down the Night Stalker completely. They actually weave themselves up as well for the bonus armor, but they won't catch anybody. Aegis actually will get reclaimed, so if they can bring down Meepo, at least he won't have the secondary life anymore. But man, he has 1.5k HP. He is pretty damn tanky, and Insidious Idols, it's not like they have the craziest amount of burst damage. They can still try to shut down one Meepo, but Ravage and Level Def, that's pretty much all they have to stop the poofs.
They have Ice Path as well, but...
Oh yeah,
again,
Ice Path and Ravage, that's what I meant. I mean, they don't even have Level Def yet, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult for them to just pin down a Meepo, I think.
I think that is very much the case. Now you've got a Blink Dagger on the Rubik as well, looking for those good initiations. I'm actually going to say I think Insidious Idols have lost because they didn't push high ground soon enough.
I think they should have just gone straight after the mid lane push when the pause was happening.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they might as well, considering they had the tide. Meantime, Doom will take a fall. There's no way he can keep up that level of damage. It just is too much. All those Meepos plus Ancient Seal. It may be all they wrote here. I can't see them winning. I really can't.
Yeah, I can't really envision it myself at the moment, so it's not impossible, but with the way Titan is playing, unless they start making huge mistakes, I think it's their game to lose at the moment, especially them having dire advantages as well, so every Roshan should also be theirs.
I completely agree with that. They should have the Roshan advantage as well, but of course this is up to Insidious Idols to show us they can fight against the odds, and it is against the odds at this point.
Look at Ahoya, sitting on the hill next to the sentry ward, but Insidious Idols, they have no idea.
He's waiting for someone to show up to put a ward down, I think. Surely he is. Or is he just waiting? No, he's just waiting for a sprout because he doesn't have a TP scroll on him.
Wow, this these plays, but oh, actually they might get a kill on For Myself, Skyrim Mage. Where the hell were you? Why were you there? I have no idea, and he is gonna die here. Man, it's what was he doing there?
I don't know. He was maybe trying to aggressively ward, but I can't see any wards down in their favor. So I honestly don't know why Skyrim Mage was that far pushed up. This is the kind of thing, though, that Insidious Idols can just pick off heroes if this keeps happening. Now, I've not actually seen For Myself play before, so I actually don't know what style he generally plays. If anyone actually knows that, feel free to poke me in the chat, because I don't know this guy. I believe the Facebook post said it's B-Boy, but I've never heard of that name.
Yeah, I have no clue at all who he might be, but I mean, when we saw a Night Stalker and just overall the kind of lineup Titan had, and even for Insidious Idol, I wouldn't have guessed that 90 minutes in, we only have 11 kills across the board.
No, when I saw these drafts, especially with the Night Stalker, it's the kind where you think, yep, relentless aggression, let's keep killing. If the enemy have one person alive, we're doing something wrong kind of play. But that's not the case here. And Ohio is still lurking nearby. Couldn't look for a kill on his own at this point, but they could TP top and keep that push going. They can easily kill the Doom, considering KYXY is up here with this Meepo.
Well, looking at the next set of items that might help either side fight, Ysera is pretty damn close to his Aghanim Scepter, 240 gold away only. Shagasaurus actually has his BKB finished on the Doombringer, but it's all good and well. I mean, they've had a pipe for quite some time as well, but they haven't had a single time to actually properly use it. The same with Mech, really, since they aren't team fighting, or rather Titan, they're not willing to take fights. So, Insidious Idols, yes, they're getting the team fight items, but little good does it to them when they're just getting split pushed to death.
See, I'm not sure why they're so hesitant to take fights, considering Mushi does have level 11 now. That's level 2 up in the darkness, sure, that's a nice little bonus, but more importantly, he's got 4,000 gold in the bank. I'm assuming he's just going to straight buy a BKB. Yeah, straight buys the BKB. Now they have everything they need to fight. There's no reason for Titan to not fight at this point.
Well, maybe they are at the moment waiting for the next night time, then just to strike, especially since KYXY by that time most likely will have his sheepstick finished.
And we're only a good 20 seconds away from the night time, but here we go. Smoke Gaming coming out of Insidious Idols. They want to get to that level a bit of an advantage, but can they is my question. They need to get this next engagement perfect. If they can manage that, maybe they can push and get a tier 3. It's what they need. They need a tier 3 on the board to give them that kind of advantage. But equally, it's a smoke by Titan as well. Ships in the night right now. And you've got the full lineup of Insidious Idols looking for any target. And Shagasaurus will find Ohio. Can he get out in time, though? Yes, he damn well can. The Doom doesn't get cast in time. And it's a wasted smoke and a lot of wasted time by Insidious Idols.
Yeah, this Doombringer only level 9, still not a single point into level death, so just wasn't fast enough. And I do believe Titan, they actually saw this smoke, maybe by this high ground ward here that an H Prophet placed before. I know that Extinct, he drew a line like this in the mid lane. Just
Yeah,
what? Mushi popped his BKB? Misclick, man. He wanted to bottle, but he activated BKB.
Ah, the curse of fat fingering the BKB button. Not a nice thing to do, but they will help themselves to an Aegis at least in exchange for losing a 10-second BKB charge.
Oh wow. Well, actually Ohio, he went for a mech as well for their team. Even though they don't want to fight. He's working towards an Orchid now, and how far is he actually? Oh, he has it finished, so Ohio's Orchid finished. BKB is there, Mushi of course still on cooldown now, but it's there nonetheless. Blink Dagger on Extinct. So whenever Ravage is gonna come out from Bethel, he has to be extremely careful of the just Ruby coming in to steal it.
In complete agreement. If the Rubik can steal Ravage, game over for Insidious Idols. Bethel needs to protect that Ravage as much as humanly possible. And honestly, with the Blink Dagger, if any Rubik can, it's Extinct. Extinct is a very well played Rubik.
Yeah, he's an absolute beast on that hero, to be honest. It's like when Titan, they were at their best, more or less. It's like Net playing Sand King or Shadow Shaman, and Extinct or Rubik, just a sick duo.
Also, you had Extinct with his Visage, which also comes to mind.
Well, at the moment, we are 23 minutes in almost. Still, kill score 6-5. Nobody wants to fight. HM picked up on for myself on the Skyrock Mage as well here at the moment. They are just pushing and pushing. They have the Aegis, yet still not willing to fight. Maybe the Sheepstick on KYXY, which is going to be finished almost immediately. Maybe that's going to make a difference, or at least I'm hoping for it to make one.
Yeah, but we do get initiation onto Shagasaurus in this mid lane. The Doom was far too far pushed up. He pops his BKB, he throws Doom on Ohio. Can they fight this? He has no backup. This Doom is going to accomplish nothing.
Well, Doom's BKB on cooldown, his ultimate on cooldown. If Titan don't go after this, I don't know when they ever will.
I'm inclined to agree with you there. I was expecting much more aggression out of Titan for this draft. I will at least consider, to an extent, they have given 23 minutes of time to KYXY on this Meepo. Meepo exponentially increases with farm. He's one of the better heroes with farm, considering how stats propagate to the extra Meepos. Sure, I'll grant you that. But, and I stress this as a big but, if we look at the graphs right now, that's a rapid downward spiral in favor of Titan and gold-wise. This is with hardly any kills. This is pretty much all just economy of farming. And that's map control at work. This map control has just let Titan exponentially farm, and they're not feeling pressured because they know they have the advantage in farming. They have control of the enemy jungle, their jungle, they're farming 3 lanes with a Meepo. It's very powerful, very powerful.
Yeah, now they have the Hex picked up as well, so maybe, just maybe they will finally go in. Aegis, they still have it for another 3 minutes, so I guess there's no rush, but at the moment, they just waited for Shagasaurus' BKB to come off cooldown, for his Doom to come off cooldown in 13 seconds time. They don't mind just playing it patiently, just farming up, although I have no idea what next big item they are waiting for at the moment.
I'm not sure what next big item they're waiting for, honestly. They've got pretty much everything they could want. And on the side of Insidious Idols, they're working on a Shivas for Bethel. They've got on the Viper the Aghanims and the Mechanism. They've got the Blink Dagger and the BKB onto Shagasaurus. What more could they actually want? Could they want a Sheepstick? No hero is very close to a Sheepstick. They've even got on their supports a 4-staff and a Yules.
This game, I mean, I understand these Idols, they are just unable to take a fight because every time they try to go S5, the other 2 lanes are just getting pushed in at the same time.
Oh,
but
top lane. We do have KYXY jumping in, finally finding the Viper, and with him falling, this could be an opportunity to push, but in comes Bethel. Gushes, uses the Anchor Smash, but nothing off the back of that one. Are we going to see a re-engage from KYXY? I don't think so, not onto a Tide. And getting a kill like that, a big kill like that Viper, and not forcing the tier 3, I suppose the 2 of them were alone. They didn't have the backup from the rest of their team, but Back to farming. Back to farming.
Man, fun farm games, fun times. But Kiilstofte is being worked on for Night Stalker at the moment. He is about 1.4k away from it. And Night Stalker, not the fastest of farmers. So, especially when Ohio as well as KYXY are taking up most of the farm on the map. So, maybe they are waiting for that. They do have a gem already, not on the Night Stalker himself, but if he gets his Aghanim's, most likely will be transferred over. But this just... It boggles my mind. I have no idea why both teams just like to farm. Or well, in Insidious they would want to fight but unable to, whereas Titan they are messing with the enemy's head.
Well, mind games aside, I don't think mind games are required in this one. But now we get that fight starting to break out. They're going to go straight onto Insidious. He's going to die. What was stolen? They've stolen the Ice Path, so that's a pretty good spell to grab, but Shagasaurus doesn't get clipped by it. Now, could we see a push coming out on this bottom lane? The Arcane Bolts are still going to fly from the Scarif Mage, and now, behind the lines, we've got Mushi and KYXY blinking in. They're going to bring down the Doom. There's not a chance to save that one. Viper's going to be the next target. Equally, you've got Ohio, back lines, and everyone gets caught by the Ravage. That's a pretty big one, but the BKB's there by Mushi, and they just accomplish nothing off the back of that Ravage. The enemy team are too farmed, and that's a nice path on 3. Doom's going to be thrown, but is the Doom going to be enough? KYXY will go down, but he has an Aegis, and now everyone is going to just be alive and healthy for Titan once more. It's a case of, we could be looking to fight this one again. Now you've got all the big cooldowns used by Insidious. They get the blink forward from Shagasaurus, but it does not matter. Ice Path clips 3 and Gush comes forward. They're going to look for Extinct. Do we see the turnaround potential? Shagasaurus pops his BKB. Viper strike to fly onto Mushi, but where is the ability to fight? Poofs come in, doing some no damage at all to Shagasaurus. Ice Path's going to drop. Insidious gets caught, but you've still just got KYXY battling down the Viper. Viper will fall on this one, but equally, one of the meat poses is getting very low. Poofs come through once more. Shagasaurus is too low. One more right click can bring down Bethel as well, though. And all members of Titan are still more than healthy, and GG is called off the back of that one. Insidious Idols will lose game number 1. Advantage Titan.
And the poofs, when you have 3 heroes taking damage from one set of poofs, that is too much for them to handle. Dazzle did do a pretty nice job with the weave as well, just keeping them alive in the earlier portion of the fight, but they just by the end didn't have enough sustain. No BKB anymore for Shagasaurus, and they just went down.
I'm in complete agreement. They needed to force the towers earlier on the side of Insidious. They had a lineup, they had an advantage that could have took the high ground at 10 minutes in. They waited 17 minutes too long, and Titan just managed to turn the game around with that Meepo, getting the farm on that hero. As soon as that Blink Dagger came online for the Meepo after the Aghanims, it was pretty much all over, but for the crying.
But guys, this is a 2-game series, so in Insidious they have a chance to draw it up, just get 1-1. Unless Titan, of course, say no, take it 2-0 instead, but we will find out in a couple of minutes time, because that's when the game should start. And until then, I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, you can always follow us. The necessary links are below the stream on Twitch. And of course, huge thanks to Mr. Blackadder for casting with me. And where can people find you?
They can find me everywhere at Mr._Blackadder, Twitter and Twitch. And honestly, as we go into game 2, I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully we're going to get something with a little bit more aggression.
Yeah, man, I'm hoping for it as well. But guys, see you in game 2.